Welcome to the Brown Bricks Podcast. The most amount of fun you can have while listening to a podcast. The first podcast of 2022.
Happy 2022, guys.
So
I was so late to the last podcast that we just that I showed up right now.
Yeah,
That's
Jack
crazy.
was a week late to
Yeah.
the last podcast.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah.
That's a good one. That's a
Happy...
good one. Is Kwanzaa fake? I think Kwanzaa was confirmed fake.
Well, people really celebrate it though, so I'm gonna say no. All holidays are fake.
I guess everything's fake.
Yeah.
And you make it real, like Christmas.
Is Kwanzaa a religious holiday? I don't know.
I don't know what the fuck Kwanzaa is at all.
Yeah. No, isn't.
It's like an African.
I feel like whatever we say here reflects poorly on
African
us.
religious holiday in some way. I don't know.
That's how I've seen it vaguely portrayed in media.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is.
An African religious holiday.
Yeah. I don't think it's like that crazy or nothing. I think it's just a holiday.
No,
Yeah.
They don't go that hard on Kwanzaa. Not like Christmas.
Yeah, I know. Not as cool as Christmas.
Yeah.
Never as cool.
I guess, they
The
got a
Jews,
Kwanzaa
Jews
tree.
go almost as hard with Hanukkah, but not quite.
Hanukkah goes
Jews-
so hard. Hanukkah's like
Hanukkah
12
goes
days,
hard
dude.
as fuck, dude.
Yeah, but like each day is like doesn't have as much impact.
It's
It's
the
Christmas,
one day
yeah.
of Christmas.
But the thing is that it's like they get hype over those 12 days.
It's a build-up. It's all about
Yeah.
the build-up.
The problem-
Christmas, no
Yeah.
build-up.
Christmas has like a build up in like the seasonal sense, but
Yeah.
like with Hanukkah, you get all those days off too.
Yeah.
So you get to be like for 12 days, you get to be in like the
That
holiday
shit's tight.
spirit. Whereas with Christmas, what are you doing on the 12th? What are you doing on the 13th? You're not like
Yeah, I'm not.
you're not like Christmasing it up.
Yeah, Christmas is a one pump chump.
Yeah, it really is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a good pump. It's a good pump. You come
Solid-
hard.
solid
You
pump.
come hard on Christmas.
Oh yeah, you
I came hard.
blast.
I got a lot of good Christmas stuff. I got clothes.
Clothes is
I'm a
nice.
fucking adult now.
I
and
fucking
want
like clothes. I get hyped when I see clothes.
Yeah, I bought myself socks the other week because I was like, I actually just need socks, and it felt good to go buy socks.
I haven't gotten to that point in my adult life, though I probably should, just because like there are multiple points in my life where I just pick out like 2 random socks, and I'm like, no one's gonna see this. They go under my shoes.
Well, I was just like, didn't have enough pairs that I had brought here, so I'm like, well, fuck, I'm just gonna go get a bunch of pairs, and I'll never have to worry about putting the same pair of socks on like for a week straight.
I respect it.
Yeah.
But like with socks, I feel like that's the one thing. Like socks and jeans or something where it's like, those are good for a while. Like you don't need.
No, yeah, for sure. If I pick them up, smell it, doesn't smell like feet, I'm wearing it again.
Exactly. Oh yeah, if it doesn't, even if it does,
Even if it has a little smell like
a
feet,
little
yeah.
smell like feet, like when you get like close to it. But if it's like in your vicinity and you're like, I smell feet, then of course you have to deal with
Yeah.
it. But if it's like if you have to get real close to it and then it smells like feet,
Some
then I think
people
it's
are into
okay.
it. Do you guys like the smell of your own feet?
No, I hate.
I
feet.
kinda
I
do.
don't hate it, but it's just.
I
Like,
kind of like
Are
it.
you into feet?
I'm not into feet. No.
Sounds like you're into
yeah.
some.
I don't smell other people's
He
feet.
says he's not into feet, but you know what he told me.
Yeah.
He's like, I keep accidentally liking foot fetish art because I like the other stuff
On Twitter,
about
because
art.
Of course.
I'm just seeing the art, and
On
I
accident.
noticed so much other things about it before I noticed the feet.
Yeah,
Now,
you're so not into feet that you don't even realize it's foot fetish.
I've never smelled other people's feet.
Do you
You-
appreciate a good foot?
Jackson
No.
Jackson was watching foot fetish porn, but he got like 10 minutes in before he's like, "Oh, this is like people get off to the feet in this."
I
I thought he was
appreciate-
just cool that she was getting like a foot job. I thought that was just a cool thing
appreciate
she was doing.
When people's feet don't look ugly as shit and have nicely trimmed nails, that's a general,
That's just general
aesthetic
hygiene,
thing.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess
I
like
think doth protest too much.
yeah, I guess I don't know. People, people who don't have feet fetish don't have the need to defend it as much as well. Quentin
Fair.
Tarantino, he constantly, when people bring that up, he actually gets like mad. Have you ever
he
seen
says
those
he
interviews?
doesn't have a foot fetish?
Yeah, he's like, I'm fucking like, why does everyone think I have a foot fetish? And then he'll put stuff in, and he'll be like, yeah, that was a joke about how people think I have a foot fetish. And it was like, dude, at this point, that's the whole cringe
Yeah.
thing, where it's like at that point when you're just finding like really cool furry art and then posting it.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
first
like,
of all, foot jobs completely unfeasible. It's
Infeasible.
There's no way.
You can feasibly do that.
No. What aspect of it is no way?
It's not gonna work. You're not gonna get me there.
Yeah, no, it's
feet.
not
Oh,
as good
you.
pleasurable for sure. Yeah.
I thought you meant like.
I mean, there's definitely a way.
Yeah.
It's been done.
It's possible to do a foot job, but it's just not gonna do it.
It's not the
know?
same as a tongue or a hand.
Yeah.
There's not as much dexterity there. Maybe a monkey foot job. Maybe if a monkey.
If a chimp gave you a foot job.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, baby.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, boy. A tail job.
A tail job.
That'd be cool. I've seen that
like
before.
a lemur.
Not like with actual animals and like just in stuff where it's like it's a half animal. I've never seen a guy get jerked off by an actual lemur.
I keep liking bestiality porn because I'm noticing stuff. I'm noticing the girl getting fucked by an animal.
That would be
my animals are what's doing it for me.
Yeah, you like. I just imagine somebody's like deadpan, like jerking off in bed, and then they like do a double take and like, oh my god, that's a horse. Oh no!
Wait, what the fuck?
I don't like this at all. What was the plan there?
I just thought the art looked good.
Yeah.
No.
That's you.
That's
No, it's me.
Yeah,
that's
that's
me
you.
now.
Yeah, that's you. Now.
That's you, now, dude.
What is your accidental fetish? Accidental.
Missionary.
Missionary. You're like,
I'm into missionary.
I thought they were gonna like go. I thought this was like a transition period in between some like radical sex things. I thought they were gonna do the missionary and he was gonna throw her up and then bounce her on his dick like a bouncy castle.
That's
His
not
penis was
missionary
so
at all.
ugly. I thought it was a dog's. That's what I'm looking for.
I want him to have a knot at the base
Yeah.
of his dong.
The duck penis is pretty cool.
Penis cancer, so I can have a nut.
Or the
Just get a big lump.
the pig penis as well. That's just
the corkscrew.
the stringy stuff. It's like, this doesn't work at all.
Yeah, it clearly does.
Well, it couldn't
Pigs
fuck.
are still around.
It couldn't fuck like a human woman, you know.
That's true.
That doesn't-
People think orc penises look a lot, or like the pig ones. Like, you know how
Pig orcs.
Yeah, is that like a
Orcs.
separate thing? Because
That's like a Lord of the Rings type of deal, right?
Well, because like they're like fantasy orcs.
Oh, you
that are,
mean like the boar orcs?
But yeah, but there are some that are like full on pig guys.
Yeah,
Boarman.
Japanese orcs tend to be just full on like big green pig dudes.
Yeah, which I don't like. I think that demystifies them a little bit.
Depends on the setting.
Depends on the context.
Depends on the porn.
It depends on the vibe of the fantasy.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh,
You don't really get many pages of vibe in dojins. You get like two. That's, I mean, people
Depends on
talk
the
about
ones.
like the fucking art. I feel like that's down to a science. What the real artistry comes in is when you have a guy who has to set up a story in 2 pages because they've got to get to the fucking. So it's like we need to set up a story, characters, motivations, all of these other things that are very important to make sure that you have context for these 2 children going at it.
Whoa,
They're 16.
whoa. Okay.
I'll cut that out. Two adults. Two adults going.
Two
at
adults. Wank.
it. Wank.
Wank,
That's
wank.
disgusting. You're implying there's children fucking?
No, we're wanking to the adults.
You're
What are you
wanking to the
Yeah.
adult. 2 adults wank. I like that. I like instead of being like that's hot or
I said
something.
Wink, though, not wank.
you
Sure
said,
you
like
did.
you said, wank.
I meant
Yeah.
to say wink.
I like the idea of saying like, of just being like, hey guys, look at this really cool picture of like an Instagram thirst trap.
2 adults
People
fucking,
say,
and they're like,
yeah,
"Oh."
people say wank, wank, like just as like an affirmative. I think that's hot. Type
Wank.
Thing.
Yeah.
Totally would wank.
Damn
dude.
wank.
Damn. That would be fucking
Yeah, Pornhub
awesome.
should have up wanks and down wanks.
Down wanks. I mean, like, I feel like it's right there where it's just an erect penis and like a non-erect penis.
Oh my god.
I feel like that writes itself. I do like how Pornhub and all those other sites, like, there's something about credit card companies and like payment processing things that are like, we can't have you payment processing on our system. And like with Pornhub, you look at it and they were like, okay, it's explicit content, but also there's the 3 sex trafficking videos that we found on there, and then they were like, but Facebook has literal millions of them that you're not taking down, and they're like, no, but Pornhub, we got to take off the payment processor. And it's like, do you not realize that like a lot of people like porn? Do you not realize that that's just like something that's like
involved.
pretty chill with most people?
Yeah.
Instead, all the payment processors are run by like Catholic moms.
Oh yeah. Fucking. I was watching this porn on Pornhub where it was just like a blowjob videos. One of the comments was like, "He should tell her to stop." I'm like, what? Why?
A reasoning there.
Your one whisper quote that always gets me. I always think about it. The one where you said like, "Want to come? I don't." I think about that too much. Or it's just you have a question, but then followed up by, "Not for me. Not what I'm here for."
Not what I'm about.
Pornhub comments are really funny.
Want to meet me in the bathroom? Not really.
Not me. I wouldn't do it.
I'm not gonna meet you there.
Because like I've seen a bunch of them where you scroll down and they're like, "Please, how do I make certain recipe in Minecraft?" And then everyone has like very helpful answers. And there'll be like one like porn bot who's just like, "Damn, I want you to fuck me so hard," and everyone's like, "Shut the fuck up!
Shut up, fucking Stacy!"
We're teaching him how to get like Eyes of Ender.
Trying to make him learn how to bake a cake in Minecraft.
Yeah, it's like this is important.
Oh, that was another weird thing I found on Pornhub. So this person was with their own Pornhub channel, and it's all of them doing reaction videos to other porn.
That's awesome.
Like
while they're masturbating.
Yeah.
Oh, while they're masturbating?
It's just like, that's so hot.
That's like stealing.
I don't like that.
It's so corny. It's like, what? It'd be one thing if I thought she didn't think. If I thought she
was
hot.
really having a
But
good time masturbating.
She seemed like she was forcing it.
I feel like that's. Imagine like the same thing with like streamer mentality, where it's like you go on, you're just like, damn. Because, like, there's so many, like, articles about streamers and, like, streamer burnout where they're like, I fucking hate my audience. I hate that they only come around to see me rage. And, like, I have to be on here for 10 hours a day. Imagine, like, having an article where it's, like, Stacy turns on her webcam again, sighing, saying, guess I gotta masturbate.
Gotta make a masturbation reaction video.
Masturbation reaction video.
Or like how streamers, they're like, I don't get to play the games I like because people only watch when I play the newest
Yeah.
games. She's like, people only watch my content when I watch gangbangs.
The most
degenerate
porn.
I'm into BDSM, but not enough of my audience.
I think, but if I was that kind of content creator for like the porn stuff, I would make it so it was like a voyeur kind of thing, so it looked like I didn't even know somebody was watching me.
That makes more sense.
Set the camera up like in a fucked up place. It's like looking from outside my window.
There is something about it where it's like when you're watching someone who's clearly just like, I'm entertaining thousands of people who are jerking off. You're like, this is a weird relationship, because I feel like there's a disconnect from me there. Where just in hentai, there's nothing. Obviously, those people, they're in those wacky situations.
You don't have to consider the implications of someone being a real human being when you're jacking off to cartoons.
Of course,
it's true. I remember there was one time where I was talking to Wyatt about like the porn industry, and he was talking about how like awful it was, and I was like, and that's why I masturbate to hentai. And Wyatt was like, I was thinking about that. That really is the only ethical consumption of porn. And I was like, yeah, that's why I do.
I'm doing praxis right now. I'm doing praxis jerking off.
Yeah, praxis. I'm doing this for like theory. I'm gonna write my thesis on it.
This is a horny pod so far.
I know. We should probably pivot away.
Yeah, chill out, man. I was just saying I like the smell of my own feet a little bit.
Yeah, and others.
No,
other feet.
I wasn't saying that.
Yeah, and other feet.
No,
other people's feet.
You said foot jobs are impossible.
Yeah,
that's what you
that's
said.
the kind of person who's like that's the kind of person who's
Shut
like
up.
in the butt.
Shut up.
They do it in the butt. What? What? I can't even imagine why you would want to have it up your butt. That seems so weird. It's like,
that's
wow.
You're projecting.
No,
so
I'm
hard,
saying.
man. You're projecting.
That's an equivalent.
You got like
argument.
a projector coming out of your eyes, like you're the one.
No,
fucking
I can
alien.
I can understand butt stuff from like a fundamental level, from like a purely like
you're projecting
analytical.
on the wall, man.
I'm a thesis kind of man, and in the thesis, I understand the prostate.
If the theories work out, the prostate.
Hypothetically, according According to the theories, we just need to put it in praxis.
Yeah.
Why is there a second bird there?
That's a
that one's a
bird.
candle.
Oh, surprise.
And someone put in there. I don't know why.
Don't fuck with them, man.
I know. They're just chilling. What'd you guys do for New Year's besides work?
Work,
yeah.
How was the
New Year's crowd? Great. Last night's crowd? Awful.
Really? Why is that?
We had to kick like multiple people out because they were getting fucking rowdy.
Liam got scratched real bad on his face.
By a woman?
By a woman. Yeah.
Did he scratch her back to assert dominance?
My friend Tom fucking pretty much tackled this guy into like a crowd. I don't know how much. I mean, I guess we have no names here really about the place we work at, so this is fine to generally discuss.
It's called funny names. Funny names.
No.
We're a comedy podcast. Let's come up with a funny name. It's called The Bar.
The bar.
Which is it's a real place in Lincoln.
Like the comic about the elephant bar.
Bar.
Yeah.
Muzzy.
I love Muzzy when I was.
Dude, Muzzy's so fucking cool. Muzzy was in Spanish too? I thought he was only French.
Nah, he was like a whole language learning psyop.
That feels fucking disingenuous.
It does.
I like the idea that some Frenchman came up with this wacky idea and he just produced it, and then for some reason it found its way into language learning classes.
It's very distinctly a European kind of thing, though, I'm pretty sure.
Only the European.
I don't know, it might have been originally French, maybe it was originally Spanish, I don't know.
Yeah.
It just got translated.
Only
I think
the
it was
Europeans.
originally French, from what I think it was.
Muzzy sounds French.
Muzzy sounds Spanish.
Maybe. See, that's the true psyop right there.
But they're very similar. Anyways, a friend, Tom, accidentally stepped on the back of this guy's shoe, and the guy, did one of these things on him and grabbed his, shirt and, pulled him up a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Tom was like, don't fucking put hands on me, and, shoved him into a whole, it was, a whole group of people that were, on their way out, and a lot of people fell the fuck over, and some
Did he get a
girl
strike?
fucking slammed her, temple on the side of the pool table, on the
Oh,
corner of the
fuck.
pool table.
Yeah.
Are you guys at fault for that?
No, because the other guy's fault.
I mean, yeah, the cops didn't end up coming down and checking footage and shit, but she fucking just was getting into Tom trying to get this other guy out of the bar.
It was unfortunate, falling over. If we fell over in any other situation, are they necessarily at fault? No.
I like going to court and saying those guys are just clumsy idiots. They would have fallen in any other situation.
Keep your fucking balance, asshole.
Yeah. That was the George Floyd defense where they were like fucking he would have died regardless. the whole
I don't know.
Yeah, just it's they would have fallen like a bunch of
they would have got a brain damage anyways.
Yeah.
Fuck that person.
They got brain damage from alcohol, which is bad for you.
God, do you see that shit where Steven Crowder on his show recreated the George Floyd thing?
Yeah, and he was obviously just not doing it.
They were not they didn't really have all the weight on his neck.
Well, yeah, it's
and it was
he's that would
she
hurt.
would survive.
Well, if professional wrestling can look semi-real, you can make any position look oh, I'm killing him. It's not really. That's secretly. It's why even bother if you're a TV show? It's because obviously it's just for his audience to be see, look.
Yeah, there's empirical evidence.
The Canadian grifter told me.
So much of Steven Crowder too is deliberately getting outraged because him and his followers just get off on it.
Yeah.
Which a lot of the time you get upset with them, it's you're not upset or angry. You're just why did you do that? When he pretended to be a trans woman and went to the gym. And then, he was just acting like a fucking psycho there. And, everyone there when he first got there was, nice. They were, treating them how, good people would treat a trans person, gendering them properly.
I don't think we have to use them pronouns for Steven Crowder when they're pretending to be...
Oh, yeah. Sure, but you know what I mean. They were, treating Steven Crowder, like respectfully, and then people recognize them and they're like, "You gotta go. You can't record here." And then like they called him my name, like, "I know you're Steven Crowder. Like, just stop doing this." He's like, "Well, I don't understand what you mean."
He uses like the abridged
and then
girl
he
voice.
he just like uploaded that shit, and then people were like, "What the fuck?" And everyone was like, "Oh, look at the triggered lips."
Yeah,
we're like, we just don't know what the fuck.
You look like a fucking moron.
You're acting insane.
That is, for me, it is really interesting because I think Lindsay Ellis recently like completely left the internet. Like she's like not going to upload YouTube videos anymore. She's like bounced. And it's really interesting.
Did call her out for Epstein connections. So.
Yeah, it's true. I think we were really because she mentioned in the post, she said my what's it called, my career has been limping along ever since 6 months ago. And what happened 6 months ago? We released our episode calling out her Epstein connections with Doug Walker. Doug Walker's still out there. He's still at large. But I think it's one of those things with canceling where like the people who like I don't know. The actual opponents of these people who like are like Twitter homunculuses who are going around trying to like cancel people, they don't give a shit. Like they're not gonna buy Steven Crowder mugs, but then the people who like they actually affect are people who are just like on their side and maybe made like an edgy joke once, and then they're like, oh, we should cancel this person because clearly Steven Crowder doesn't really give a shit what we say. He like gets off on it. Yeah, like Ben Shapiro's not going to be like, well, everybody on Twitter doesn't like me now, so what should I do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for canceling people that have like a platform who are actively spreading like bad shit.
But it's hard
like,
to do.
If you're just like a guy who like tweeted something once, but like your actual job is you're like a manager at a fast food place.
Yeah.
Like, what victory have you achieved by canceling that guy?
Yeah.
I think that's where it loses me.
It's just, for me, I just see it more as like a detriment to their own. It just seems like more friendly fire happens than actual like good what that like the Twitter people.
It only ever affects people who aren't like famous. People are like complaining about famous people being canceled, or like people who already have like careers, and it's like, well, those people are never affected because they immediately just gain an audience by that happening. The people who does affect, is like the small people who nobody knows.
Yeah. And then, like, all it really takes is, like, 3 calls to their job to be like, yeah, you're fired. Like, we don't know what this is about, but people have been calling us, and that's reason enough. But, like, all that, I think somebody said, like, you can only really, like, cancel yourself when you're an online personality. Because, like, when you stop uploading, then it's like
that's
day one.
The day.
But then, like, all it really takes is just to be like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. And then they're like, we've won. Huzzah. Lindsay Ellis and her Raya the Last Dragon tweet are no more.
I don't know what that was about.
She got canceled because
compared it to Avatar, right?
She said we need a term that encompasses all of these movies that are like Avatar: The Last Airbender like, and that's what she was calling like Raya the Last Dragon. And then somebody in the comments was like, you're like South Asian people are trying to like make movies about our culture, and you're out here trying to lump them all into the same thing. And she's like, that's not what I was trying to say. And then they killed her. They came into her house when she was filming a video and stabbed her to death.
Damn,
like
she did, yo.
She said A2 ContraPoints, and then ContraPoints slid in the last dagger.
Wow.
It was pretty cool.
That's crazy.
It was a fucking wild. It's still up on YouTube for some reason.
Damn, that's fucking crazy.
That's badass.
I know.
I like ContraPoints more now.
I know.
Now that I know she's a confirmed killer.
We should get canceled.
I like the idea.
I think I've already made that joke though, so I'm not gonna say it again.
Made what joke?
We should get canceled to get the audience.
Yeah, I think we've tried. We tried starting shit with the Bad Bricks podcast.
Oh, cut out the start, guys. We couldn't upload last week because the liberal SJWs thought our episode was just too offensive.
Yeah, they were too much.
And while we believe in the First Amendment, they wouldn't let us upload.
To be fair, I don't want to cut this out and put it at the front because we put some like pretty racy stuff online, and so people are like, what was in the last episode? Where people are like, you can't post that. Like, Spotify contacts us and they're like, you can't You can't say that.
What? I think now we've officially uploaded every episode we've recorded, right?
Yeah.
After the last
No,
one.
we're officially up to date. So
Yeah.
except for the last one, that was too.
Oh yeah,
that's
sure.
too offensive.
Yeah, sorry, forgot about.
Well, we were talking about liberal SJWs.
Yeah.
We were talking about Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther.
They weren't a fan of that.
Yeah, we were just talking about the truth about how Martin Luther King, if he was born today, would have been in the fucking.
He would have been a white guy, man.
He would have
He
been,
would have been a white guy.
he would have been in the Proud Boys. He would have been in the Proud Boys.
It's the truth, and people don't want to hear it.
People don't want
It's
to.
true.
They don't want to acknowledge that shit.
Well, do you remember? In order to get into his Martin Luther King club, that's what he called it. He would have to masturbate and talk about cereal, and they were like. The Proud Boys are really just trying to carry on that tradition.
They inherited that tradition
of civil rights.
Martin Luther King became the leader because he could remember the most cereals by his beating off.
I still think it's funny
honorable
because I
thing
thought
to
they
do.
were like beating the shit out of you, like a gang initiation.
Yeah, not actually.
But instead, you're just beating off.
I still think when I brought that up, I might have been totally wrong. That might not be a thing.
All of it might be a lie, but it's still
I'm
funny.
always
It's
just- I'm
still a
just gonna
good idea.
I
feel
like the-
that's what they do. For
I
the
like
rest of
the
my
idea
life.
that it's like some kink thing. Instead of being like any sort of strategic, like under pressure, you won't cave and you'll like count backwards from 7 when you're being tortured. It's like instead, it's just like, let's watch this guy beat off while he recites breakfast cereals.
Everyone has to look at his cock.
Everyone, especially Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
My
Good. Yes. Yeah.
My dad bought me 12 Rules for Life for Christmas.
By Jordan Peterson.
By Jordan Peterson.
Bader.
Peterson.
Kids skateboard.
Wait, what?
That's one of the rules.
Let
Kids
kids
skateboard.
Let kids skateboard.
It's so fucking
eat
cool.
only meat for the rest of your life.
Get addicted to benzos.
Rule 10: spread panic that you'll go to jail if you misgender people.
Hey, I don't know.
Rule number 9: get vaccinated and then tell your crowd to not to, so they all die.
Yeah, that's
You get horribly sick because your daughter only lets people eat meat. She only lets people eat elk.
Is that what he was eating?
Yeah,
He was
well,
just-
his daughter.
I don't
Do you
know if That's
remember?
why you got sick. But I know his daughter is like all about like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, just eating meat.
Yeah.
paleo diet.
Do you remember the fucking interview that I showed you guys about the one guy who was like just the biggest piece of shit of all time, and he had like a webcam service with chicks.
Yeah,
And he went over.
yeah.
Yeah, that guy. But then like at the end of that interview, he talks about how like Jordan Peterson's daughter was like staying with him, and I was like, this feels like a rabbit hole that like we need to like. Why was she there? Of all places, why was she
Are
there?
you gonna read 12 Rules to Life, Jack?
Probably, so I can talk about it with my dad. I don't know. I feel like they'd
so
be
I
interesting
can
talking
connect
points.
with my father.
I also like I don't know, like most of the stuff that I hear him saying is like it's like, yeah, you should like occasion like it always starts out just like, yeah, you should make your bed every day, and that's just more about like organizing, and I'm like, that makes sense, and then it'll be like, and that's why like the one quote that I thought was really funny was like my dad said something where it's like, that's why you shouldn't make your kids you shouldn't allow your kids to do anything that would make you hate them was the quote. And so it's like and but like it starts out like super logical where it's like, yeah, like kids are actually like really fun because they're like very like imaginative and they're like super curious about things, and like if you are their role model, then it's like you're able to kind of like help their influence on them, and like you can kind of like talk to them, like watch them grow as a person. That's really cool. And then he gets into the other stuff, and I'm like, I don't necessarily agree with that, but I want to see with like, I don't know, I want to see how neo-Nazi I am. I want to see with how much stuff I agree with, and then because there's obviously gonna be like some stuff that's just like common sense logic, and then I wonder if there's like any smart things that he says, and I wonder like where he just goes off the deep end, because like there's always a point. And the only way that because no one...
How many Dragons of Chaos are we talking about here?
Too many.
Yeah.
Far too many. I'm interested in reading it for that reason.
Nah,
And because Red Skull wrote it, and I think that he has an interesting perspective, being an immortal wizard man. I assume that's
the
what he is.
Tesseract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Red Skull's cool.
That's cool.
He's pretty base.
Kinda neat. I read the whole wiki recently about the zombie universe.
Oh yeah, how's
That
that?
one's fucking stupid.
I know, that's what I
Fucking
said.
sucks.
I think we talked about it, where I was just like talking about it. It's like it's pretty
Marvel
stupid when they start
zombies.
like all having the power cosmic and going into like other universes.
Oh no, that's the thing. Like there's like the bubble that the few humans that survived in Wakanda live in.
And Black Panther doesn't have
And
an arm
then for
and a
some
leg.
reason they let the zombies in for a second, and then everyone dies.
Like, how could we have seen this coming?
Because they were gonna make a deal or whatever with one of the regular zombies, and then the Incredible Hulk, he flips the lever. It sucks, dude.
Pull the lever.
But at the end of it, they get sent to a different universe that they then consume, and then the watcher of that universe sends the zombies back in time to the original zombie universe, so it forms like a whole time loop.
Oh yeah.
Paradox, so the zombies are trapped in that infinite, like, universal loop.
Time paradoxes are a bitch. Like, that's something where
That sucks.
unless you've got whatever Tusk Act 4, you're really not getting out of that. Anybody who can be like, yeah, we're just gonna keep looping you.
Otherwise,
like-
otherwise it would have been like, well, the zombies would just take over every universe.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
But like that's something where it's like, well, that kind of puts a bow on that one.
Yeah.
Like, there's really no like getting out of that hole when you dig it for yourself. Like, if they want to have Marvel Zombies 4 and somebody's like, I've got a really good idea for this universe, they've got to figure out how to make the Watcher stop doing that.
But I recently watched the the two Venom movies.
Oh, aren't those bad?
They're fun. I like those.
Okay.
They're not, like, awesome.
I like
they're
Venom
fun.
because he's the goo man.
Yeah, no. I really like the idea of just like a fucked up guy with a goo monster inside of him. And that's what the movies were. They were just a fucked up dude who had a shitty going of it, and now he's got a goo man inside of him. And
I think
they're
that's cool.
They're just doing cool stuff.
I like goo men.
Yeah. No, they're fun movies. I kind of wish they were bringing Eddie Brock to the main Marvel universe.
They did it for like a second. They did it for like that
Yeah.
split second.
Yeah.
They disappeared. Like, you could tell like it was because like Marvel was like, no way, we're not letting.
He says the F word.
He says,
And he kills people.
but Deadpool's gonna come in. They're
To the
making
main
Deadpool
Marvel
3.
universe?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're probably just gonna like keep him in that kind of like Deadpool place where it's like he knows about everything,
Okay.
and then he'll interact with a bunch of like C-listers who never show up. Maybe like somebody from like the Marvel Netflix series will show up and he'd be like, "Hey, it's me," and they're like, "Wow, look, we made a
Deadpool's
connection."
Like, wow, the hit guy from that show.
From Iron Fist.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see Iron Fist. I want to see Iron Fist as a part of the MCU, just so like Shang-Chi can be like, we've replaced you effectively.
What were the stakes in Shang-Chi?
The stakes were like universal destruction, I think, because there was like a door to like a dark dimension that they were gonna open, and I feel like that would be pretty bad.
Yeah, those are the kind of doors you don't want to open.
There's a couple of doors pretty fine, I think. Doors to dark dimensions, I feel like would cause
the Shadow Realm.
Did Eternals end in a way that suggests they're ever going to be in any other Marvel movies, or were they like,
Yeah,
let's
what the
just put
fuck happened in
Eternals
that movie?
I never watched
I
it.
didn't see it either.
That's why
that one seemed like important, but also not important at all.
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently Sonic the Hedgehog beat the Eternals overall, and it's like lifetime gross. So
Well, that's because that's fucking cool.
that's because so
Sonic's
fucking awesome.
I love Idris Elba's Knuckles.
Idris
Have
Elba
you
is
seen
not
that
really
one?
so cool.
Have you seen the one picture? He's like, "You'll never get my power," and he's like, "Does it look like I need your power?" And then he punches him. He
God.
punches him real
And
hard.
that's totally something Knuckles would do.
Oh, it's Stage.
Oh,
look who it
who's waking up
Hello.
from his fucking coke bender.
He's gonna do that.
I'll bleep that. You gonna put on pants? It's like 2 degrees outside.
No pants.
Oh, you're just gonna walk out while we're doing
Tage
the
said
pod.
something incoherent.
You're meant to be on this.
Yeah,
You're a member, you know.
No, I have a massage at 5:30.
you're not getting
Ooh.
your cut from today.
Wow,
Oh, that is
I
actually
bet.
badass. All right,
Ooh.
have you ever had a massage before?
I have not. No.
Tell me how it is, because I've been like thinking about it.
I need one. That
It sounds good.
Should be good.
I want to get one of those earwax.
You gonna get a happy ending?
I don't know.
That's why he's wearing the shorts.
Yeah.
I want to get one of those earwax things where they like do a deep clean of your ears and all like the extra wax that's going on in there.
You don't clean your ears?
I do clean my
He wants
ears,
a deep clean.
but like the deep clean is like because a lot of stuff just naturally, because white people just have very like oily ears, like deep inside your ear, way deeper than any like little cleaner could get.
You ever seen the videos where there's a little bug stuck in someone's ear and they're trying to get it out?
Oh, the bug? Oh,
Yeah,
that's a
get the
fucking
bugs out.
awful video.
I
The
don't
one
like
where
it.
it's like buzzing around and you don't know what it is until they pull it out and it's just like a whole ass moth and you're like, oh, no, thank you.
What if you did a deep ear cleaning and they pulled out a little man and he's like, "Hello, Jack."
Hello, help.
Would
I
you
was hiding in
take
there.
care of him like a pet and let him hang out with you? Or
You can go back in my ear.
I would
that's
not let
fine.
him back in my
no,
ear.
not back. In
I'd
the
put
ear.
him in
Why
like
not?
a little frocket.
Why can't he go back in the ear?
Well,
No,
I
because
don't- I don't
I
know
would
if
not want
he's-
him in my ear.
You didn't notice for years.
Yeah,
he was
but
whispering things to me the whole time.
I thought I was.
No, because he would like hear
imagining it.
things, or he'd hear someone, and he'd be like, "Jack, do you want like the chicken or the steak?" And he's like, "Please get the chicken. I'm lactose intolerant." What would he sound like?
hello.
Hello.
I would use him to break into places. I give him a little.
How little are we talking? This guy was living in your ear. He can't be that.
No,
big.
he can be like a moth size. So like he could be that
He
big.
like
could be
that
a month.
big.
So he's just sitting in his
Yeah,
in your
he's
ear,
like he's not
curled up.
comfortable.
That's
He's
fucked
not-
up.
He can't get out, but like he's just like hello, but he's surviving on your earwax.
No,
Oh.
but you get him out, and now he's your buddy, and now you're like, okay, let's steal all the money from this business, and you can slip under the gap.
Ooh,
beneath the
I like
door.
He's
And you
not
give him-
strong enough
You give him a
to
little,
unlock it.
give him
You
a
give-
string and a fucking paper clip attacked as a grappling hook, and he climbs up to the lock.
I like
and
that.
Unlocks it.
I
for
like
No
you.
that.
way he's strong enough to unlock.
But it's like ant rules, where he's like
Yeah.
proportionally stronger when he's that small.
Yeah, you could figure it out.
Because like things
Ants
that are,
aren't strong enough to turn locks.
I like
yeah, but
the,
he's bigger than ants.
you know what I like the idea that in all heist movies, you know how they have like the hacker, the guy who can crack safes, the
The
muscle.
tiny
I like
guy.
the idea
Tiny
that you need a
ear
tiny
man.
guy.
That would be a good heist
They're
movie.
like in,
Just the tiny ass man,
Or
and he
Mr.
does everything.
yeah.
All of them are just like
They're
hanging
just
around.
like, we'll be out in the car. We'll deactivate the cameras. Not that it really matters because you're a tiny guy and the cameras won't see you. Then the muscle will knock out the two guards, but you'll just probably sneak past them anyways. Then like the tiny guy's like running through. He's got to run like a marathon
to
proportionally.
go down the hallway.
Yeah. He's like, oh, this is awful.
Guys, can you
Can
do,
someone
like,
dress up?
something?
Can someone dress up as like a waiter and then like put me in one of those little like put me in someone's steak and then they open it up?
He drowns in the juice of the steak.
The au jus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
What?
cool.
The au jus.
Au jus?
That's like what you put on steak and,
Oh.
and French dip sandwiches.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't know that.
It's cool. It's delicious. But
Yeah,
he
well,
drowns.
he's
Podcast
drowning
is
it.
fucking over.
He's drowning.
No, it's not. We have so much time left.
He's
And
fucking
keep
not.
going with the tiny guy bit, okay?
Tiny guy bit
He's
was strong.
drowning in the steak.
He's
Okay. And
what
he's
if-
like, help me. And somebody's like, waiter, I think
What-
there's a fly in my
Yeah.
steak.
And you say, "Oh, I'll take care of that right away." And then you wink at the tiny guy as he's drowning. He said, "Help me, Phineas." And then you stick him up your pee hole.
That's a whole different fetish, a whole different movie.
All different, yeah. I do like the idea at the very end.
What if he helps me out?
You're it's 20 minutes of Phineas in the bathroom, sticking a little tiny guy up
Little
his
tiny
pee hole.
guy in the
He's
pee
like,
hole.
ah! He's like, this is as bad as it is for you as it is for me. Oh.
If I had a tiny little buddy, I would have him hold my pee hole open so I could do bigger comes.
Big guns. I like the
Big
idea
Texas comer.
that like the side like cum is just something that's like it's gonna like do a certain like it's not about like the amount, it's about like water pressure,
width.
so it's gonna keep that. So if you had a big ol' so you'd come out like
Yeah, it's not gonna shoot as far. It's gonna come out and like
No, it has
bigger
to.
glob.
Like it has to be the same water pressure every time, so it has to
yeah.
shoot out way more when you have a big pee hole.
That'd be
Ah.
cool.
So you like when you open it up, it shoots out like a fucking gallon.
And they'd be like, oh, thanks, man.
I need.
No problem. No problem. Pete.
I'm covered in your cup, but that's okay.
And then you give him a small little cheese as a reward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a big cheese for him. Because he's
That's
a small
true.
man.
Yeah, that's fair. He deserves it.
I'd give him mini M&M's. They'd be like, oh my god, regular size M&M's. you fucking idiot.
You fucking. He's just a kid. He's just a child.
Well, yeah, he's lived in your ear the whole time.
Well, no, like he's just child sized.
Oh.
Like he's a tiny man.
Yeah. He's a tiny man. He's just like a midget. And you're just like, oh, yeah, I'll keep you for heist reasons. Can you hold open my pee hole with your supple little hands? Why me?
Yes, Phineas.
Yes, you
Yeah.
my liege.
He's like 4'6", so he's not like.
Not even
Having
legally
sex
a
with someone
midget.
you're about to come, you're like, little man.
Get the midget.
Little man, come.
He comes
Yes.
at him.
Yes, come
He's like, what the fuck?
No, you're gonna love this. Watch,
You're
check it
gonna
out.
love this.
Opens it up. I do a big cum. Like,
Like
I am like pretty cool.
covered in ectoplasm.
Fuck.
God damn it! It's so fucking
Like that's
stupid.
that's my little guy.
Little
Found him in
man.
my ear. He's good for two things:
Shit.
crime and that.
Yeah.
Holding the pee hole.
Otherwise, he doesn't get out of that basket. Except for shower times.
Yeah.
We bring the basket in, put it in the shower, just kind of let it run for a little bit, and then shake the basket out.
Wait, what's the appeal of giantess stuff?
Giantess?
Yeah, where you're like a little guy and they're
I feel
big
like
women.
asking the appeal of a fetish
Yeah.
means that you're just not into that fetish. Like the appeal
You
is
really got to
self-evident.
go full on
I
Freud
guess.
if you're taking
Yeah.
a guess with that sort of thing.
The appeal is self-evident if you're like into it. It's like, oh, like that. Like when you
Getting,
see
like,
that.
get like put in her pussy.
No, yeah. If you were to tell someone that who's into that, they would just be like, yeah, I'm on board. Like that's the best thing I've ever heard.
You get put in their mouth. That's like vor, I guess, but also has an element of like the big woman eating you.
You'd need a bigger woman, or like a
We're
tiny
gonna need a
one.
bigger
Oh,
woman.
you're gonna need
We're
a big
gonna
woman.
need a bigger woman.
I like big women. Big women, big money, big fun.
Big problems.
Big
Big
pussy.
problem, big pussy.
Big pussy.
Big pussy.
That's my main.
Big
That's
pussy Bompensero from The Sopranos.
Bompancero?
Yeah, that's his name.
Big pussy.
Big pussy
bump, sir.
Bompensero.
Is he trans?
No, his name is Big Pussy.
I like the idea of calling someone a big pussy just to
That's
remark
his-
on
that's
how
his-
big their pussy
That's his
is.
fucking mafia name, dude. Don't fucking insult him.
So
Big Pussy.
he'll break my kneecaps
Yeah.
With his pussy.
with his big
with his
with his
fat,
big
fat
pussy.
pussy.
He'll stick your knee into his pussy and then he'll fucking yank his hips and he'll snap your knee.
Yeah, I'll be like, ow. This
He'll sink deep into his.
He'll get his
fat
little
fucking
man
pussy.
to put my knee. He'll position it
Yeah.
right. He'll do it right this time.
Send the little man to spelunk in his big pussy. It's like, oh my god.
It's so big.
There's so much to explore.
It's like I'm a kid in a candy store.
Yeah. I like this little guy.
Mexican.
I like him too.
He's cool. I'd hang out with him.
I think he
Yeah.
should be like a little like Dutch boy.
A little
He's got-
Dutch
he's got a
boy.
little Dutch accent. Oh
Do you watch a lot of Dutch TV and you pick that up? or-
no, no.
Where would he have learned that? Where would he have learned
Where
that?
would he have learned that?
Yeah.
That's just how he is. He just exists that
He's
way.
born a Dutch boy, a little
Yeah.
Dutch boy.
Why does he exist at all, huh? Why does anything exist?
What if one
Huh?
day you look at him and it's like, you seem a little smaller than usual? He's like, yes, that's how my race exists. We get smaller
We get
until we disappear entirely.
Until we
That's
become
so sad.
microbial.
And then we're reborn in somebody else's ear.
That's so sad.
And it's
that
like,
would suck.
huh,
You're like,
okay.
damn. Like, how long do you have? He's like, oh, not long.
They don't reproduce.
Yeah, no, they just come back.
Well,
Yeah.
This is a special existence.
Yeah, I mean,
They must be treasured.
At the end of the movie, you're gonna be like, "Oh, my little man, he's gonna disappear." He's like, "Oh no, he's being your heart," and then he'll like disappear. But then like your I don't know, like Liam will be like walking downstairs, and he's like, "There's something in my ear. Like I just can't get it clean." And then you like smile, and a tear rolls down your face. You're like,
He's been reborn.
or maybe before I see Liam and he has a guy in his ear, I'm beating off and I'm trying to hold open my own pee hole to do a big comment like, it's not the same.
It's just
you're not
the
beating up.
same.
It always has to be with another person.
Ever since
So you're
my
like
little
fucking someone
man.
else, and then you're like,
I'm like, hold my pee hole open,
and they're like, what? And then you're like, oh, why? Oh
I
wait.
miss him so much.
In order to hold your pee hole open, he would have to like stand with like his feet and his arms at like the sides and like in like a blanket, like holding.
you see, I was imagining him just like lying on his belly on top of
Yeah,
it.
roll like
and then
on top
leaning
of the pee
forward
hole.
and opening it up like that, like with one hand on the bottom, one hand on the top, and just pulling up.
But he doesn't have that big of a wingspan.
Is your pee hole sideways?
I don't know, I
Sideways.
haven't.
My pee hole's
I
vertical.
haven't
I
given
don't know
a-
off the top of my head.
I think it's vertical.
Mine's vertical as
It
well.
only makes sense. You guys want to hear something
I
wacky?
just don't know.
That's
what
mildly related. There's a guy who he worked at like a tree place, a tree farm, and he had like problems breathing, and he went in, and they were like, "Oh, you were growing a little fir tree in your lungs." Like there was like a little like a seed that got stuck in there because you were just breathing in a lot, and it was just like growing, and it grew to like that big. And he was like, oh, like they had to like do a biopsy to take out part of his
fucking
lungs. They thought
Christ.
it was cancerous because it was like, oh, you're coughing up blood a lot.
It did need like sunlight.
No.
Huh.
Well, like they can grow without.
That's a-
apparently, those can grow without sunlight.
okay.
It's a conifer.
A conifer.
Yeah. It's a kind of tree.
I
Really?
see.
It's like a genus of tree, I'm pretty sure.
You can look up tree and lung, and it's pretty grisly, but it's
Tree
pretty
and
cool.
lung. That would be fucked up if that shit happened to you.
What if that was your little man? And he said,
This is a
"Please,
tree.
been the
fucking
light,
your
it's
lung
too
up?"
bright.
Wait, what does the tree have to do with my little man?
Well,
Oh,
that's
if
your
instead
version
of
woman.
instead of like in your ear,
Oh.
he came up in your lung.
He's just killing you from the
Yeah.
inside.
I like it. I like it way more when he's in my ear.
In your ear, it's a lot less destructive.
In my ear, he's just like kind of inconveniencing me, but like.
But
it's
he's
a-
inconveniencing you, but he's not comfortable either. Like he's
Yeah.
he's not satisfied with his place in life.
He's not killing me, which is why it's better.
I think that's
It's not
probably
killing you from the
agreeable. I like this sort of, kind of like mutual benefit, that
inside.
symbiosis,
There's a
that you and
symbiosis
your.
between you and the little man inside of you.
You know, it's almost messed up that we're calling him a little man. To him, he's a regular man, and we're all just big men.
It's true, yeah.
Maybe,
Well, I
maybe
mean-
he doesn't see himself as a little version of a man.
Here's the thing, though. You are amongst big men, so in context, he is a little man to us.
Yeah.
If he was here, we wouldn't say
If
this
any
is
of
my.
us
Does
have
he
even
even-
bothered to learn his name,
He doesn't even
What was
know
his name?
any other little men. You know? He's never seen
well,
another
he
little
clearly
man.
knows about how their race works.
Yeah, because that's how he
about
knows
the
how they
shrinking
disappear.
thing.
Does he have parents?
No, you wouldn't need parents with that sort
Well,
of.
yeah.
Yeah, no, they just.
You're just kind of an
reappear.
He's just
eternal
born with
entity
this
that
kind of like
knowledge. He's like a
flips in and
fae.
out.
He's a fae, little elf.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Fairy.
I like the idea of just like that's a really obscure like mythological fact or whatever, and so like in Irish folklore, it's like there's
This is
this
a
one
real
guy,
thing.
and that's like one of the only real ones.
This could be a real, folklore kind of guy.
Yeah, they still don't pave over those fairy circles in Ireland.
Yeah, why would they?
because because they need a road to go there.
No, they don't. They're in Ireland. They don't need a fucking road to go there.
They don't need roads. Where they're going, they don't need roads.
Are you trying to fucking go to the local cliff? Take a look over at the cliff?
Yeah, Ireland, this fucking third world ass country.
I like the idea
Where
where
you
you're
trying
like,
to
"Doc,
drive?"
we're gonna need a road," and instead of being like futuristic about it, like we don't need roads, it's like we don't need roads. We're going into the fucking dark ages. we're gonna die of malaria, Marty.
Where we're going, we don't need toads.
We don't need pogs.
And we're Australian, and we hate toads because they're not endemic to the native population.
Yeah, because we introduced them to get rid of like another thing that we also introduced.
Now we just play golf with the toads.
Our
fucking smack them around.
Our pedophile teacher
turn
told
them
us
into
about that.
paste.
My
He told us about
uncles
the time.
Put firecrackers in frogs' mouths and then watch them blow up.
I never liked harming frogs, but
No, I love frogs. They're my favorite. I would always catch them down at my grandparents' lake. Well, toads, actually. We put them in buckets.
To clarify, did I say my uncles or grandparents?
Uncles.
Yeah, my uncles, when they did that, they were children. I didn't see them do that when they were like adults. Like,
that's my least favorite thing on the internet. You're gonna bring up a comment. Someone's gonna email us finally, purely because they wanted to say that's
fucked up.
Kids hurting animals is a sign of early sign of being a psychopath.
Some
we're not getting an email for that shit. Email us at brownbrickspodcast@gmail.com.
That's Brownbrickspodcast.
Yeah, please do.
Do it.
Email us the video of the chimp fucking the frog mouth.
Email us you holding your pee
I don't like that
hole
video.
open.
I don't like that video at all.
See how wide you can open your pee hole and tell us.
And send it to us.
Yeah.
Get a little man.
And then like draw over it a little man holding it open.
So we can
it's
all
the Brown Bricks
imagine.
Photoshop contest. If you send us one of
Most
those,
realistic image of a little man opening up your.
I will
pee hole.
Venmo you $5 if that.
He will. He'll do it.
Oh yeah, why not? Sounds fun.
Yeah. What else is going on?
2021's finally over, guys.
Betty White, she deserved it.
We're
Fuck that bitch.
She deserved it. What did she do?
Died.
She's just old.
Dumb
yeah.
bitch.
Dumb bitch. Obeying
Fucking
the laws of
getting to
mortality.
99. Can't even make the final stretch to 2022, much less her 100th birthday.
This seems recursive. She deserves it because she died.
Yeah.
She deserved to die because she couldn't make it to 100.
Yeah. She's stuck in like a causality loop.
Yeah.
Alright, it's like as long as I don't. She said, as long as I don't die, then I don't deserve to die. No. That is the thing about like being that old. Like I remember talking to somebody about like my great grandpa or something who died, and my dad was like, I wonder what the cause was, and I was like, I think he was just old because he was like 95.
I think he was
like at that
just
point,
old.
it's like anything does it. Like it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, it's like dying in your sleep is just like one of those like your brain just stops. I guess I
Like
don't know.
nothing's working right. It's like at a certain point, how many nights where like you accidentally shit yourself does it take for your brain to be like, we're just turning this off? Like no more.
Yeah, Betty White was like an ancient since the 70s or the 60s. She was old forever.
The 1860s.
I can't fucking wait for the Queen of England to die.
That's what everybody's
That's gotta
been
be
saying.
That's
a
gonna be
good day.
That's gonna be so cool, fucking cool when that happens.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to lay out a fucking law. Anytime, so there's always this thing where like something happens, big world event happens. Betty White dies. Everyone talks about it.
Big world event.
And then one person on Twitter says, "Oh, I wish it was the Queen of England. I don't like her very much."
I
And
don't
then
think it's British
everyone
people saying
makes that fucking
There
meme
might be
over
a
and
lot of
over
rich people
again.
hating on her.
And then it
Yeah.
becomes like a little joke meme. And then my sister or like my mom gets a hold of it, and then she tells it to me, and I just get annoyed. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. I'm like
This is
irrationally
like a
annoyed
really specifically.
at like specific mimetic things, because like the Queen of England, that was clearly like one guy's joke, and then everyone just kind of like glommed onto it because they're like, that person's also. It's like not like intrinsically specific enough to be like obvious from the fact that Betty White died, but it's not like it's so specific
I
that
don't
it's
even
like
know
it's
what you're talking
clearly
about
somebody
now.
else's. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I don't know your
either.
full point here.
My full
don't
point is
know.
I fucking hate when
When people make jokes about.
people make jokes. I don't like jokes.
hate, people are not funny. We're funny.
Yeah.
Other
We're
people.
funny. Well, that's why
not
we're
funny.
doing this. This is a public service.
We gotta preserve our humor and intelligence for the ages.
Yeah.
What if when
This
the
is like
Queen
the
died,
Library of
you're
Alexandria.
watching TV, breaking news pops up, the Queen is dead. And you're like, oh no, the Queen's dead. Feel
Yeah.
a little tickle in your ear. You pull out little old
Oh,
lady.
little queen.
Little old lady.
That'd be funny if they're using like perspective shots to make the queen look bigger. So you'll see like she's like with people at like a round table, but really she's like really close up.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's like I can't hear you. You're so tiny now. She says,
I'm the queen.
Wait, would our tiny men be old then?
No.
Like constantly?
No, this is a new thing.
This is a different phenomenon.
Yeah, this is a different joke.
Yeah, that bitch better die soon. Otherwise, there's gonna be consequences.
Yeah. Otherwise, we're gonna have to take matters into our own hands.
Yeah.
That's not like assassinating the Queen of England would not be an accomplishment. It's like you could like
She
push,
tripped.
you could like put a stiff breeze in front of her and she'd fucking keel.
That's what makes it so honorable.
I guess that's what makes it so easy to get away with. You could like drop like a banana peel in front of her and she'd slip on it and go spinning out like a car.
How do you become one of those like tall hat guys at the Buckingham Palace?
The royal guard.
I think that's
You
probably
born
just like
into
the
that?
police, right?
No.
You're not born into it.
I
Like
mean,
a royal
it
lineage
could be
of
just like a
top hat
military
guys.
thing where they assign certain people from the military and being like, "Hey, you want to do the
And do the
Fucking-
funny big hat guy and stand
Royal
there like a
guard
fucking
thing.
log and trample children in the lot.
I like the idea that there's a certain couple of words that you can say to them that'll make them let you in. Where you go up
Let
to them
you in.
and you say, the weather's sunny but cloudy," and then they wink at you and then they like open the gates and then you can go in.
And do what? What are you gonna do in there?
kill the
Pee on
queen"? What are we
something.
fucking trying to do
She
here?
doesn't live in Buckingham Palace.
Oh yeah.
I watched a little bit of the new Baki season, and
There's
it's
a new one.
yeah, he goes to the Arizona State Prison.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, that's not
and-
new.
It's not new. It's pretty. I mean, but it just arrived on Netflix.
Oh.
And it's great because like to show like how bad the bad guys are. They always start out by the bad guy whips out his dick and then pees on people, and it's like
Every
damn.
one of them.
Well, like 4 people do it in the show, so it's become a noticeable enough pattern. Baki does it to like one of the guards, and then like the strongest guy in the prison. Oh man, the fucking Mike Tyson. They show up to the prison, and he's like, I want to challenge Biscuit. I want to challenge the guy in the prison named Biscuit. That's why I showed up to prison. He goes in and he's like cellmates with Mike Tyson, and he's like, so you're like the second strongest guy, because he's like, there's 4,000 people in line to fight me. And then,
Claiming he could beat Mike Tyson.
well, no, he's like, you're the second strongest guy, right? And then Mike Tyson's like, I'm not even in the top 10 in this entire prison. And then the guy,
They get Mike Tyson to voice the character.
yeah, I think so.
That's crazy.
He gets beat up by a trio of really not great gay stereotypes.
Nice.
And then
I'm
the
sure he
actual second
appreciates
strongest
that
guy,
portrayal of
Samus Morphball rolls.
So Mike Tyson's gonna go to Japan and murder everyone involved with making that.
Yeah. That.
Fucking bite their nose off.
Yeah, was it Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali? I think it was Muhammad Ali.
Okay, well that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because
Be
he's
a little
dead.
more irreverent with him.
Yeah. No, he's in the Arizona State Prison. They were trying to kill him so he couldn't box again.
It's because he joined the Nation of Islam and they wrongfully incarcerated him in Arizona.
Wrongfully.
Wrongfully, dog.
Sounds like they did. It sounds like they did what needed to be done. He joined the Nation of Islam.
I'm finna have a nation of isn't long.
Isn't Shalom.
Yeah. Fucking mashallah, brother.
Mashallah.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
Inshallah.
That you probably shouldn't go around saying that to.
I know what inshallah means. I don't know what mashallah means.
One I know is like God willing, right?
That's inshallah.
That's inshallah.
God wills it. It's kind of
We
like
should
it's like
go to
Dave's fault.
Sharia law. I don't like women voting.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just
I gotta let that one hang.
Yeah.
Gotta let that one ride.
I'm just saying they had some right ideas.
Yeah.
I also like the idea of getting
Child brides. That's pretty cool.
That one's
I
pretty
also like the
obvious.
idea of getting to cut off the hands of people who steal things from me.
Mm.
So it'll be like,
Have you ever been stolen from?
well, it'll be like my roommate. He's just like, oh yeah, your charger is over there. I decided to use it. I'll give it back to you. And I'm like, Like,
Which-
come on, man.
Yeah,
What the fuck?
Tree law's badass.
Yeah, I know. I like the
You
idea
ever
that
steal anything? Did you deserve to get your hand cut off? Did you steal anything before?
I think I probably stole something.
I've
but it was probably
accidentally
something.
walked out of stores if I with shit that I forgot to pay for.
I've stolen.
I feel like I stole like chapstick at some point.
I've stolen Legos.
You did? Well, that makes sense. That's a fucking highway robbery already. Those fuckers.
Well,
are
no, not like a
expensive.
Lego set. It was like at our school when we were younger, and somebody had like a little diorama thing out,
That's cruel.
and I stole a little Lego man off of it because I wanted it.
That's bad.
Well,
I shouldn't have done
It was
that.
fucked up.
It's
I'm
good of a
sorry.
reason as any.
I'm confessing now, okay? I'm saying I
now we're
deserve
gonna
to get
chop
my
off
hand
your hands.
chopped off.
Yeah.
Can I
And
get,
you're gonna
like,
have to replace it with a big Lego hand. You can only.
Then I can only grip big circular things like this.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get a mouse that like you can like click into in order to play games.
Yeah, we should, instead of giving people normal prosthetics, we give them Lego
Turn them
hands.
I like the idea
Give
that
them
like,
Lego
a
people
child is just like it's just like I was born without an arm, and then like they bring in like Tony Stark or something, and he's like, I've got something cool for you, and it's just a big Lego arm, but it has like no range of motion. It only can like move up and down, and he's like, this is somehow worse.
I wish I had no arm again.
It'll give you gangrene, kid. Man, we are fucking killing.
We're
this.
on one today. All right, I had something I wanted to bring up.
Hell yeah.
You ever work with any plastic wrap, Jack?
Yes.
You know the way they tell you to like tear it off?
Well, normally there's like that little thing.
There's like the little serrated edge,
Yeah.
right? That shit doesn't work.
Maybe you just got a bad one, because like it works for me
No,
most
that
of the
shit
time.
never works.
You
no
gotta go
matter what.
fast too.
You gotta go fast. That fucks it up even more. And then you're like grabbing it a little too tightly, and so it sticks to itself. And you're like, this is a whole fucking mess.
It sounds like you're bad at plastic wrap.
I have that plastic wrap that came with like the little slider thing where like you slide in it. Like that actually has like a small thing that cuts it
And then
you
it
slide it
chops
through.
it.
That's what I'm talking about.
No, I'm not talking about the rough edge. I'm saying
No,
it's like
yeah,
the
no, I'm
actual-
saying
oh,
like
yeah,
the little slider. That's
Yeah,
what
no,
I'm
that
saying.
Well, then the one I have, I
Oh,
guess,
no,
is
the-
fucked up.
that
The
shit's
thing that's
okay
just
for,
the
like,
serrated edge sucks ass.
tin
'Cause
foil or like wax paper, but yeah, it sucks for the plastic wrap.
plastic wrap, because the big ones they'll have like just a little slider thing that you can slide across, and it like does it perfectly every time.
Okay, well, yeah,
That's
that
what
sounds
That's
good.
what I get. Yeah, that's
I'm not having that.
I'm in the fucking future,
having,
dude.
Yeah,
We have
I
that
need to
one.
buy.
You can use mine. You can use
Where?
my plastic
You're-
wrap.
you're
In
out
our
here-
fucking where all our wrap is. All
Okay.
our plastic. and
you're out
aluminum.
here telling me that like smallpox is pretty bad, and I don't like it, and I'm like, damn,
This has been
we're
cured,
way
man.
past that. We
Yeah.
figured that shit out.
Jack and I are in the fucking future.
Yeah. You're like, my horse, it can't travel far.
It's fucked up. I didn't know this. I'm learning.
Would you have a horse if you like, if someone like was just like, okay,
Would
listen,
you have a horse?
I have a free horse.
No.
Would you take it?
No.
No, the horses are so expensive to take care of.
Yeah.
Fuck no.
What if the horse was
If
like,
if I could sell it immediately
Yeah.
nah, you
and
probably
keep
could.
it in our shed up back.
Ooh.
What if the horse was like, he was
Feed
like
it.
dog light, so you could like, he wouldn't like want to run around a lot. You just
like
have to
a
like
pony?
walk him around the block,
Oh.
ride him around the block probably.
So you,
He
No,
doesn't need like a
I'm
big
not taking a
field.
horse. I don't want it.
No,
This
but he
is
would
the
like
whole
sleep in that
thing
little
now,
corner.
Yeah.
I don't want the fucking horse.
I don't want him to sleep in our house. I mean, he's gonna shit.
He's an inside horse.
Yeah,
He's
you
like a
gonna take the
magical horse
horse?
that doesn't need to eat or shit or piss and like.
Yeah, then we're just talking
Or
about
I don't even need to
Yeah.
talk to it or look at it or see it ever. It can just
Yeah, if
be.
it's-
So like a car.
If it's- if
if
it's
I
a-
could just have.
I don't want to ride it either. I don't even
Yeah.
want to touch it.
I want an invisible, intangible horse that nothing secretes nothing. It just stands there,
Just-
and I can phase through it. I can't see
You
it,
should just like get.
I don't even want to
schizophrenia.
know it exists.
but I
Is,
do.
is
want
there a way
it.
to like induce schizophrenia? I feel like that would
Induce?
probably solve that problem.
A lot of people who are prone to schizophrenia it develops to get way worse after they take psychedelics.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in the age range where we're most likely
To
to
develop
start becoming
schizophrenia?
schizophrenia.
I was talking to
It's
somebody
men in their early 20s.
about the really sad reality of like brain injuries because they worked at like a brain injury hospital, and she was talking to me about how a lot of that stuff is like they'll function normally on like 2 out of 3 things that matter in life, but then like being able to identify like pictures and say like, "What is this?" It's like a picture of like an ant, and they're like, "I don't know." Like, I know that is like I know what it is, but I can't like put words to that picture. I think that'd be badass.
That'd be badass.
I think this podcast would be better if we were like...
If we were schizophrenic?
Yeah, if we were all schizophrenic.
Toddlers can develop schizophrenia? That's cool.
That is cool.
That is pretty badass.
I bet they'd be fun to fuck with. Schizophrenic toddler, like, oh!
Because like...
Schizophrenia is like, common? What the fuck?
I mean, it's like a spectrum thing.
I guess.
But can you be like light schizophrenic?
I'm sure you can have like minor schizophrenic traits to the point that like you just wouldn't be diagnosed with it.
Yeah,
and it like doesn't really impact your life in any significant way.
1.1% of the population in the United States has schizophrenia, apparently.
Which
means probably more of that.
That's like a lot of people with schizophrenia.
Yeah.
And like imaginary see-through horses.
I don't think they're imagining those the kind of things.
Tage is gonna come back and he's gonna be like, "Oh, that massage felt so great," and then he's gonna start like petting something in the corner, and he's like, "Yeah."
Caused him to develop schizophrenia.
Oh no, he had it the whole time. You guys just didn't know.
Damn, that sucks.
He's functioning schizophrenic.
High functioning schizophrenic.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, schizophrenia, that could spice up our life a little bit more. You know?
I like the idea of like not like getting a new hobby or like learning to juggle. It's like, nah, let's just get schizophrenia.
Well, I'm hearing a little man in my ear now because I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I do hear.
God, what a fucking banger start of the year podcast.
Shut up. Shut the fuck
We're
up,
tired.
man.
Max and I are tired.
I got fucked up.
We're
Stayed
down
up
2
till like
members.
8:30 in the morning.
Oh, you guys want to hear some interesting thingy mabobbers about or something that I bought that's interesting for this podcast?
Yeah.
That so on Amazon they were selling lapel mics for like a flash sale for like $5. So I just bought like 5 of them.
Oh fuck!
And so we're gonna next time when they come,
mics?
we're just gonna all connect to our phones with lapel mics. See if that sounds
See if
better.
that sounds any.
Probably will sound a lot worse because they're like $5.
we can dual record.
Yeah. Oh, we're definitely recording on this as well. We're not losing that, but I'm just saying like maybe
lapel mic would be
hypothetically we could all have our own audio tracks.
Yeah.
Interesting. I like that.
Yeah, and I bought adapters for our phones so we could all hook them up.
Oh shit!
Because those were like also $5. So I just spent like in total like $50, and I'm like, this could either be horrible or I'll like film a couple of funny YouTube skits with lapel mics.
Yeah, we can start taking this show on the road to go interview people.
Yeah.
Let's go to just fucking middle of nowhere, podunk town, and be like, hey, you guys want to watch our show? They're like, what is it? It was a podcast.
We're just gonna sit here and talk.
Because like I understand this podcast as being completely unmarketable in any real sense of the word. But like for me, like there's so many things where like I'll go onto YouTube and there'll be like a guy who's like, my YouTube videos are me talking about like I don't know, like talking about like how cool it is that there's 2 clicks on a lamp instead of 1 and the implications of that. And then they'll spend an entire video like being like, it's important to market like this, and I'm like, you're a fucking clown that people clicked on because you had a little funny video. You dance for our entertainment. Don't think you fucking cracked a code. Don't think you're like fucking a super hyper genius. I feel like in order to have a YouTube channel or a podcast, you have to be mildly self-important. Like you have to have like mild like.
Dude,
oh yeah,
we have that in spades.
Oh, I know.
I mean, to think that anything you do is like other people should experience this. Yeah, of course you need a little bit of.
You need a little bit of like
attitude.
Yeah, but like I feel like with YouTubers who like put their face on the camera and then say like, let's talk about it, especially the ugly ones. When I see them, I'm like, man, this guy has a little too much self-confidence.
Yeah, cool it, buddy.
Do you guys know Jello Apocalypse is?
Yeah.
I'm so mean. Like this dude
Is he ugly?
But he's
only
like,
ever seen. I haven't seen his face before.
He looks like
I haven't either.
He looks like a middle school theater kid who like hasn't hit the prime, but he's like 30, and so it's one of those things where you look at it and you're like, damn, like he's like one acne away from. But he had an entire like hour-long video where he talks about Scooby-Doo characters, and he does this thing where like he acts like people are like really fucking like they like he said in the thing, he's like, my ideal date with somebody would be me sitting down and explaining the plot of Mystery Incorporated for 2 hours, and I'm like, you sound like a fucking nightmare. You sound like someone who I never. I don't know.
Not great.
Go to his Scooby Doo video.
He'd be much better without the
I'm
beard.
not going to Scooby Doo.
No, all I'm saying is if you watch that video, you'll understand like why I don't like him. But it's one of those things where like I watch that and like I don't know, because I like Scooby Doo and he has some interesting.
I'm tired of the joke where it's like, isn't it funny that I'm putting so much effort into analyzing something that really doesn't warrant that much effort?
It's like that's your fucking job at this
The
point.
joke's been done.
Yeah, I hate people who like try to lampshade their YouTube videos, where it's like, you know what? If people find it interesting, they'll find it interesting.
And they're like, and they'll talk about it. It's like, why did I make this? I guess it's just because I have no life.
Yeah. Wow.
It's like, be better.
Yeah.
Make something interesting.
It's true, and I'm watching it for whatever reason.
Well, it's like I watched it because it was interesting. Because I clicked on it because I didn't want to find out why lamps do 2 clicks instead of 1. And I was like, oh, that does sound pretty interesting. And then you click on it, and he's like, isn't this wild that you clicked on this video? And I'm like, no. It's like 5 minutes of my time. Like, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that bad. And, like, I'll have a fun little fact.
Do you know what channel is just conceptually, or not conceptually, but just, its concept is fine, but just the way it works is fucking wild. Like, CinemaSins is so weird.
Oh,
If you sit down and watch that, it's
They're
like...
fucking trash.
They're just stealing a movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, like I was watching like the one for the Suicide Squad because I was like, what the fuck is this CinemaSins shit? Was there any merit at all? And I went and watched it. And then like at one point one of the characters makes a line, he's like, doesn't this prove that there's no God, when showing his like evil experiments? And he went on this rant about how like, actually in modern Christianity God can still exist due to the thing of evil because he gave us free will. So that means somebody's like, Jesus fucking Christ, man.
What am I
This
watching?
This can't be a complaint of a movie.
So CinemaSins has that same problem where like he had like CinemaSins and then he had like CinemaSins like After Dark or some shit.
Yeah.
Where he'd go behind the scenes and talk about how like analytical and how fucking smart he was due to his YouTube stuff, and I'm like, you create the lowest common denominator content that like CinemaSins is legitimately something that I think ruined film
Single-handedly
criticism for, like,
ruined film
part
criticism.
of, where it's like instead of talking about film as a whole and talking about like how the parts of that narrative like create a cohesive story and make something interesting, all you have to do is point out like
themes,
inconsistencies, and then it's like, wait, but the cell phone wasn't in that scene. How would he get that?
Yeah,
It's like
that's not important. Shut up.
It's like that's not like why the film was made. Like for me, like part of it, I really, because a lot of authors do think about that stuff, and the biggest problem is that CinemaSins, because of the nature of his channel, he needs to find reasons to do that. So he'll go into movies that actually have explanations for it, and then he'll go through and then just be like, because he needs a problem, he'll be like, why did that happen? And because like the only recourse is to like go down and do a YouTube comment and be like, actually this happened because of this reason.
It's a
like
bunch of engagement.
Yeah, like all he has to do is do that, and then like most people will be like, yeah, why did that happen? And give it no extra thought. I do think he's like stealing movies though, because a lot of people do those not as like, not watch those videos as like entertainment in and of themselves. They'll watch those movies as like supplements to, like, it's those people who are like
notes.
Yeah, or like the people who like take like indie horror movies and they're like, this indie horror movie explained, and then they'll just go through the entire movie and then be like, what do you think? Wasn't that pretty scary? And it's like, oh my god, you just like basically stole like maybe not everyone who's gonna watch that was gonna watch that horror movie, sure, that has like 1 billion views, but like maybe some of the people were, and maybe some people are gonna be like, oh, there's like these indie horror movies that I should watch, and now they're not gonna watch this one. Whatever, I don't know.
We just need public education on how to torrent so that people stop watching cinema.
That is the biggest thing. People don't understand.
Oh, I can actually just watch the movie for free if I
but CinemaSins, I feel like there's what YouTube, Twitter, all those things have like accomplished is like basically backing up a dump truck to your mouth and then just like a constant flow of content into it, where like just the smallest amount of effort to be like, actually, I'm going to go do something that's infinitely more valuable with my time is so much like it. For some reason, our brains are now wired to be like, that's so much more effort. I'd rather just listen to my Night Court playlist again.
I was desperately hoping that Cinema Sins would have done a video on the trial of the Chicago 7, but he hasn't. That was, I just think that would be hilarious to see him be pedantic as hell about like this actual like historical event. It's like, why would you rush the hill with cops on it if you know that they have weapons and tear gas?
Like Judas in the what's the one movie?
Oh, Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yeah, Judas and the Black Messiah. I want him to do that one.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, gunshots don't exactly work like that. The police wouldn't clear this room before they came in. Ding! My wife left me? Ding!
Ding! That's a sin. That's a sin. You're not allowed to divorce.
Dude, I would fucking love it if he got deep into Christianity. So like people, it's like infidelity. Ding.
Ding.
Yeah, anytime it's like
drugs,
it's a movie and there's Muslim people in it, he's like, these people aren't praying to the one true God.
Ding.
That'd be badass. It'd be cool.
That would have more cultural value.
that would be infinitely more interesting.
The worst is like people are like, he's too negative, and then they go through. I think like Cinema Wins has come out as well. I've seen that. Where it'll be like everything good about the Spider-Verse, and I'm like, so now you've just found a different way to steal movies from people. I don't know. I think there's
movies that people would get mad at you for criticizing.
Well, I think there's value in like sitting down and then watching a movie front to back and then forming an opinion on that movie, as opposed to like sitting down and then having a person who, because most people realistically have never seen those movies, and like sitting down and then just having a guy who's right next to you and then like cut through the movie, cut through all the pacing, and then just show you like the parts that he thinks are like objectionable film wise.
Yeah, every theater should have like a in-house CinemaSins guy who pauses
and then skips parts that are boring. So like The Irishman, he's like fast forwarding through scenes.
Get the fuck out.
And he's like, and watch this part. This part, he's clearly working on a car, but what is he even doing in this scene? The extra just seems like he's tightening bolts for no good reason.
If CinemaSins went on tour doing that, I would go.
I would go to assassinate.
Like, just get fucked up and sit there and watch him go, actually.
Like, Mr.
Like, it's
Science...
not like a Q&A or a fan meet and greet. He's just, like, in the shadows.
Yeah.
On a movie.
Oh, but he has, like, a megaphone, so, like, he's hooked up to the speaker system as well, so he can, like, speak into that. And it, like, speaks over the movie, so he's in a part... What's like a very like serious heady movie that you should not be criticizing? A Green Book. I want him to do that with Green Book. I don't know if that's a movie that he shouldn't be criticizing. Like there's a lot to criticize in that.
Criticism.
But I like the idea that like he criticized
12 Years a Slave.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one for sure.
Yeah, Wyatt and I watched this old movie about like terrorism in Algeria against like Muslim people being like oppressed there, and like him doing that and him being like, I understand why they're doing this. You know, they weren't trying.
They kind of.
I like the idea of him doing documentaries. So like the what's it called? The one like video that Liam will always show us.
It's like 6 million Jews were killed in camps like this. He's like,
ding,
no.
Ding.
All he says is and then he has a ding sound effect, and you're like, what did he mean? He starts shaking his head like Murray reacts.
What's that one? Sometimes he does like more sins if he thinks something's especially stupid. For that one, he's like, 6 million sins for that one.
Well, no, he does like take off a sin if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, he does that sometimes. Yeah.
Because I watched those when I was in like middle school. And
I'm proud to say I've never seen one actually.
That's
better
good.
Off.
You are a better person in life for not having seen one. I do think genuinely my idea of film criticism has been like mildly ruined. Because now whenever I think about writing a story, I'm like, but that wouldn't make any sense if you're like trying to make something, and I'm like, but wait. Does that really matter?
That's like, who gives a shit?
I mean, it's kind of like the end result of like the Channel Awesome area of media criticism, where like that was still just a lot of pedantry, or just like overreacting to like kind
Yeah.
of silly things they don't like.
To bad credit cards.
So then he's like, well, if what people like to see is just pedantry and plot holes, I'll just literally
Do
that.
only
Do
that
just
for every
that. No
movie I
humor
can.
attached to it. Yeah.
Man.
He does. That's the fucked up thing, though. It's cinema sins, but like half of them are just him telling a joke about something that happens in the movie,
And then giving
digging
them
it.
a sin.
And it's like they're the worst jokes ever. There's no energy behind them.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like he wants people to laugh at them.
He's like a dumpy Midwestern guy whose parents don't understand what he does for a living, and he can't get a girlfriend.
He must make so much money.
Oh, God,
he's
yeah.
billionaire.
Yep, of other people's intellectual property.
Wow.
Fucking
Who does that sound? Who does that remind you of, huh?
I do. Yeah, us?
No.
The nostalgia critic?
A billionaire?
It's not their intellect. I mean, okay, I can understand stealing labor as an argument. I can't understand people being like Amazon workers intellectually, like they own the intellectual property to Amazon things. The Coco Melon kids own the idea of the swoosh. That's a little smiley face.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
Damn.
It's got the little, like, dimple.
Yeah, but it's an arrow.
Watching Uncut Gems, and when he bets the money at the end, he's like, "Why would he do that?
Ding.
He has enough money now.
He has enough money now." I do like just like, because it is one of those things where it's gone past the point of understanding character flaws, and it's just as like, why isn't everyone perfect in movies?
Yeah, no. Why isn't everyone perfectly rational? And why isn't everything anyone ever achieves like just clearly within their capabilities and not like slightly impressive?
Yeah.
Or like if people fail at things, it's like, why did he fail at that?
Yeah.
It's possible to succeed at that.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like he also uses
dude.
it as like a fault of the writer
Yeah.
when they're like irrational, where it's like no one would and actually the real answer, it's like maybe the characters are written like that on purpose.
Because they're fictional.
If Cinema Sins made a movie, it'd be about two people playing chess and then they draw.
It
That would be the fucking movie.
would be about two computers playing chess.
Yeah.
Because the people would be, because if he did people, he'd be like, why are they scratching their chin like that? There's no strategic advantage in order to do that. I don't know why you would do that.
I don't know why you would do that.
God, if fucking Shane was the guy who ran
don't
Cinema
know
Sins
why
this whole
you would
time,
do that.
I would fucking
and every
die.
sin is just he plays a scene from the movie. He's like, I don't know why they would do that.
I don't know why you would do that. When like he gets like copyright stricken and like all of his channels get deleted and he's like, they took away my livelihood. I don't know why they would do
I don't
that.
know why they would strike my channel.
I was just criticizing their movies.
I was just sinning movies. I
Just
didn't
telling
like.
them their sins.
I was just being the Pope of film criticism. Ding.
Ding.
All right,
All right,
that's good.
everybody.
Bye, guys.
Happy New Year, Merry Christmas.
New
Suck
Year.
my cock.